All right, this is a perfect example of why Peter says if you are unlearned and unstable, you will twist Paul's letters and all the other doctrine to your own destruction. Because if you're unlearned and unstable in the law and in the prophets, right? When Peter said that, what did he have? What was he referring to? It wasn't the New Testament, because he wrote part of the New Testament. Paul was writing the New Testament. He's talking about the law and the prophets. And because you're unlearned and unstable in those things, you're twisting the doctrine, and it will be to your destruction. And that's what we're trying to help you avoid. Destruction in tribulation. Okay, so why did Yeshua have to die? Jehovah compares himself to his people as a husband and wife relationship. So, in order to understand the relationship between Jehovah and his people, you have to understand the marriage laws. When a man and wife are married, they are bound to each other until death, right? Until death do you part. So, all right, so that's one law. Okay, the other thing you have to understand is Isaiah 28:10 tells us that you have to read line upon line, here a little, there a little, precept upon precept, okay? So you read one law here and then another law there, and it builds on itself, okay? So one of the marriage laws is that you're bound until death. Another one of the marriage laws is that if the wife is found to be defiled or unclean, meaning she committed adultery, then the husband can kick her out of his house. She then can go off and marry another man, but she cannot return to her first husband. So, if Jehovah is the first husband and his people cheated on him, committed adultery with pagan gods, as they did with the Asherah pole, then he was free to kick them out of his house, which was the promised land, right? So this is the northern tribes of Israel getting the divorce letter in Jeremiah, I think it's 3. It's either 3 or 4. He divorced them. Sorry, my battery is going to die. So Jehovah divorced Israel, kicked them out of the promised land. They cannot return to him. But that means that they're without God forever. That's not good. So how do you return? Right? The woman, remember, is bound to the husband until death. So, can God die? He would have to die in order for them to be released from the marriage law. Jehovah can't die because he's God and he's not a man. So what did he do? He sent his son in his authority to die so that his people, Israel, spiritual Israel or the bloodline Israel, could repent, return to the holy covenants that Paul talks about in Ephesians 2:12, and become his people again. It's not difficult, but when you are blinded by your idolatry, by Christmas, by Easter, by the cross that you wear between your breasts, Hosea 2:2. When you're blinded by those things, you become deaf, dumb, and blind like your idols. That's Psalms 15 and 115 and 135. And you're not going to be able to see this. So you have to get rid of the Christmas. You have to get rid of the Easter. You have to get rid of the crosses. You have to repent. That's what my brother is telling you. Repent. So that the scales come off your eyes. And then you'll understand the marriage laws. You'll understand why Yeshua had to die. You'll be able to see what his true name is, because he only reveals his name to his people. Read Isaiah 52:5. My name every day is blasphemed, but my people will know my name. And John 17 says that Yeshua is praying for the servants. And he says, I have manifested your name unto them. Jehovah's name. And his name. We understand his name when we understand Jehovah's name, because he comes in his Father's name. You can't get Jesus from Jehovah. You can get Yeshua from Jehovah, because Yeshua means Yah's salvation. So he had to die so that you are able to repent. And that's how you become covered in his blood. That's how you become washed clean. Is because when you repent, then his blood covers you, not before. You're not forgiven for your past, present, and future sins. I just read it the other day. I don't remember where it is, and my Bible isn't within reach. But it literally says past sins. You are covered for your past sins when you repent. And then when you sin tomorrow, you have to repent tomorrow. And when you sin next week, you have to repent next week. That's what grace is for. Because that spirit of grace, God's conviction on your heart, will lead you into all righteousness. You will learn to be obedient. He doesn't expect you to just be perfect overnight. That's not what it is. You're going to say, oh, I repent. I'm sorry. I want to learn your ways. Teach me your ways, Jehovah. Order my steps so that I can walk in your ways, so that I can go find other sinners and turn them from their sin, to teach them to repent. And that's what we're doing here. It's not that hard. You just have to get rid of your idols.